And we're back, and we have here our next guest, Miss Ravyn Manning, and today is March 29th, 2022, and your host, Jesse, aka Jeezy, aka whatever the fuck you want to call me. Up next podcast, we have our next guest, Miss Ravyn Manning. So, Ravyn, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, audience.
There you go. So, yeah, let's hear a little bit about yourself, and how about we just start right from the beginning? Let's where were you born? Tell us.
So I was born in Riverside.
Okay.
But I moved around a lot as a child. I lived in Riverside, then I lived in Colorado
No, I
for
didn't know
about
that.
6 years. And then I do a bunch of back and forth, visiting my dad and my mom and stuff. So
Colorado, huh? So you were there for how long?
I was in there about 6 years.
Oh, okay. And how was that like? Do you remember anything from then, like during that time?
Oh, yeah.
What stands out?
One thing is my favorite is we actually had snow days.
Wow.
So I remember there being a blizzard and everything was shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you get to stay home and go play in the snow. So
Okay.
we lived in this apartment complex by a creek. So
And this
like,
was just with your dad?
this was with my mom.
Oh, with your mom. Okay.
I moved out there with my mom. My parents got divorced when I was like 2 or 3 or something. So
Okay.
So we moved out there. The apartment complex we stayed at was like by a creek because out there like everything's kind of outdoors. So like when we would go outside to go play, we were literally like going and finding tadpoles, going into fields, hunting prairie dogs, like
Really, prairie?
Yeah.
You'd actually go out there and hunting
Not
for the
hunting,
prairie
like,
dog?
child hunting.
Child hunting. It's
With
just
air quotes.
you're looking for them, right?
Yeah, I was looking for them.
Look at that.
Cool.
Oh, look there.
Yeah.
There's one of them sticking their head out.
Yeah, pretty
Okay,
much.
I got
It
you.
was just fun, you know.
Yeah,
So
of course. All right. So I mean, when did you move back here to California?
I moved back, I think, in the 5th grade. I want to say 5th, 6th grade is when I moved back to California.
So 5th grade. That would put you what? 10 years old?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I think I was out here when I went to what was it? The Millennium Change.
Mm-hmm.
What was that
Okay,
called?
2000.
Yeah, 2000. What
Yeah,
was it called? Y2K.
Yeah, Y2K, the Millennium. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
So like I was out here.
I remember that.
Everyone was like super scared that like all the technology was gonna fail.
You
and
know,
you wouldn't have access
and
to your bank
nothing
accounts. And
Yeah.
really nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Which I get the panic. It would have thought like, oh, it's 1900. You know, that's what the thought was, and it just crashed. So when you have two conflicting informations, I guess in a computer, they just like blow up and go into smoke. And which I don't think back then the whole country was ran on computers. You know, there were some programs, but the majority of it was just like, you know, we would have just kept trucking along.
Right.
Which that's what happened. Nothing happened, you know? So
And my godfather actually owned a computer store at the time.
Okay.
And we would like work there during the summers and stuff. And people were coming in just scared about their
Wow.
computers not being able to work. So he was like, I feel guilty,
Mhm.
you know, selling people products to like Y2K proof their computers. Like nothing's going to happen.
So it's kind of like, yeah, I know. It's kind of like you feel like a snake oil salesman.
Right.
You're just like, yeah, this one will cure everything. Sure, all your computer ailments will be taken care of.
Yeah. And it would be crazy too because he would tell them, you know, like there's nothing to be worried about. People were like, no, you need to sell me something.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
you need
give
to
me
sell me something.
Give me a computer that's gonna be unbreakable.
Exactly. So he's like, okay.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
guess.
You know, and I always remember that time, like it was like that Prince song, you know, party like it's 1999. And I was like, man, you know, I was 17, but, you know, just hanging out with the family. I wish, like, if I was older, I'd probably be at some big party.
Right.
But, you live and let learn. But it was cool, you know, other times. So you're back in Moval, or is that where or were you another city?
I'm currently back in Moval.
No. I mean, like, kind of going back to that timeline. So from Colorado, you moved back here to California, but was it in Moreno Valley or was it somewhere else?
I actually moved back to Moreno Valley. My mom and my stepdad at the time ended up getting divorced. So, like, my stepdad actually drove us out here and dropped us off at my dad's.
Oh, okay.
So, he was a great, great man.
So this was back in Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in Colorado, and then he drove you over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I think that was, like, their divorce. He was leaving too and just kind
Wow.
of, like, dropped us off
Okay.
on his way back to his family.
Yeah. So he lived out here himself?
Because my mom and him met out here because she worked at a post office, and I guess
Okay.
they met at the post office, and
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Amanda has some relatives that work at the post office, and I don't know anyone personally, but it's that old thing where people say, it's the male people just get crazy, that whole shooting thing. I don't know how they got a bad rep over that. That was like one time, one shooting, or at least I could remember one time, one shooting. Maybe I wasn't old enough to kind of see more, but
Yeah,
okay.
they I can see how the post office can drive people mad.
It can.
They definitely overwork their employees, and there's lots of like
Mm-hmm.
petty drama, and
Mm-hmm.
so I can see it. I'm not surprised with shootings at all.
Okay, so you're in fifth grade, and tell us about that time. Tell us like what stands out to you from there, as far as like what was your experience like?
Fifth grade, it was actually kind of funny. When I came out here from back out here from Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
I was like I was like yanked out of like regular classes, and they threw me into gate.
Okay.
Which is like,
I had this conversation with somebody. I don't know if it was you. Yeah, it was like GATE. What does it stand for?
yeah.
I thought it was a special class, but I don't know if it was special needs or special as in you're smart. So I kind of had like I didn't have that growing up, so they didn't call it GATE. I think they just called it damn, I don't even know what they call it. You just jumped into a higher grade, or just
I
jumped.
just made you go to
Yeah.
skip a
Yeah.
grade.
Okay, so I mean,
So
you.
yeah, they did that, but it's like I don't think it was because I was actually smart. I think it was just
I think they do that only because you're smart. I mean,
I don't know. Okay, so
like, how do you just fall into a smarter class? I mean,
well, yeah.
they got to see something in you.
I mean, I'm sure they did, but at the same time, like the quality of education outside of California is way different. Like when I came out here, like when I was in Colorado, we had like aphid farms. Like we were dissecting frogs in like
Okay.
the third and fourth grade out here
So
in California. They
more
wanted us to, like,
attentive to their students and probably giving them more attention,
Right.
or maybe more resources.
I think it might be more resources. Also think the class sizes are probably a lot smaller than
I
California.
bet. Yeah, over here everyone's crowded. Everyone's just
Teachers are just like
Yeah.
up to their heads with just like.
yeah.
So I
Speaking
think
of
you
like
can't give people enough attention that way.
true, and speaking of teachers, man, they are overworked, and I don't know if you heard all the stuff that was going on with like teachers. There was this one viral video that kind of just stand out recently. I won't get too off topic, but it was like some teacher just had enough and was yelling at the students, and obviously they were recording it, and then there were some tweets supporting the teacher. They're just overstressed and overworked and underpaid, and I was like, I could see how they could have a point and have a point of frustration.
Absolutely. And also I feel like a lot of parents think it's the teacher's job to raise their children.
Yeah.
And then also they don't have the teachers' backs either. So
Sometimes,
when their kids are bad, it's like, oh, they want to come after the teachers. But it's
Yeah.
like, no, your child cussing, skipping class, stealing, like, that's not your teacher's fault. That's like a lack of parenting on your end, potentially.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like rather than, talk to the kid or maybe blame the kid for the kid's actions, they try to find some other out, the scapegoat being the teacher. And they're over here like, well, what the hell, you're not giving them enough discipline or something, when the parents should be.
A lot of parents probably weren't even home. They're too busy working and
Exactly.
making a living. So, like,
Oh my God, it's so hard to make a living.
yeah. So,
Tell us about what you do.
So I currently work in advertising.
Ooh, I love it.
It's very interesting.
Have you seen Mad Men?
I did. That kind of. I want to say
love that
it
show.
kind of kickstarted.
Okay.
Because originally when I started in advertising, I wanted to be a creative director because Don Draper,
Yeah.
it was just like this take the world by the storm, all these
Guy
creative
just
ideas.
exactly. He had just the inside of people, what they want, and just had that, that little factor that everyone just, has that appeal to. So it's like, and it was the '60s, the backdrop.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
so beautiful.
Oh yeah,
The way they shot it.
They call it spray and pray. That was like those were
Oh, really?
strategies that worked back then. It's like you just like when it came to messaging, you just like you had this really cool idea and you just plaster it everywhere. Like, and it's just like the more
Yeah.
people who have eyeballs on it, the better your brand's gonna do.
Yeah.
But now it's a lot different.
Yeah.
because,
How so?
There's not a.
What's the take on it, or what's the approach?
I feel like now it's very surgical.
Mm-hmm.
Within advertising, a lot of brands now are they're almost having like their own personalities. Like a
Mm-hmm.
brand's not just a brand anymore. Like it's a human being, and people actually like hold brands
Mm-hmm.
accountable as though they're actual people.
I can see that. Yeah, there's quite a bit of that. I know Apple gets a lot of flack, and certain automakers, or I know Tesla gets a lot of flack.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because there's Tesla, and then there's Elon Musk's, and so a lot of
Yes.
people look at Tesla as Elon Musk. So like whatever
Yeah.
Elon Musk does,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, Tesla.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like,
it's like what he goes on Joe Rogan podcast, smokes a joint, and just all of a sudden, like, well, Tesla car must like probably kill me, just driving. So it's like, no, dude, it's like, guy's just a guy, let
mm-hmm,
him blow off some steam and have a joint with Joe Rogan, and the car's still going to be safe, one of the highest ratings in safety.
exactly.
So just don't, yeah. I don't know where people get panicky and they just,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, the stock market price drops.
Right. And there's like this fine line of like obviously like holding people accountable.
Yes.
And I actually shared this with one of my professors one time, and it made him giggle. But we were talking about Chick-fil-A. We're talking about Chick-fil-A, and I was telling him, I like, why is it so like hard? Like, why do you have to make a choice? Like, if I eat at Chick-fil-A, it means I don't believe that trans or gay people should have rights just because I want a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A.
But
Like,
I guess people, yeah, they think like, oh, because you support them and what their beliefs are, because obviously they have religious beliefs, and they give their profits to certain organizations that obviously some people don't like. So I get it, where people would kind of, well, I'm not going to shop there. You could boycott.
yeah. And I think that's like in society, that's been the thing. It's like, okay, well, if you want to take power away from someone, you have to use your dollar.
Yeah, absolutely. Companies will absolutely just they'll respond to dollars. So if they feel like they are, their brand is going to take a hit, yeah, they'll move mountains for people. If like, oh well, hey, we're not going to make this quarter's quota. We definitely got to move some mountains. So absolutely.
But it also, I think, puts us in like a very, this is like something that I grapple with sometimes, just like in the advertising world, is like, we're creating this environment where humans can define themselves by these brands, because these brands are becoming people and representatives of like what you believe in.
Yeah.
And then so I think that like it's a slippery slope, because if you're using all these brands to define who you are, you become a slave to these brands to define who you are.
I guess. I mean, it just all depends. Like, how deep are you into brands? I mean, it's one thing you could like a brand, but as soon as I hold no. I mean, obviously, if Tesla started making a shitty car, I'd be like, well, I'll just go find a better car. Or if like I was a big fan of LG phones when LG phones were popular, and then I was like, well, I like Samsung now. So people are entitled to change their minds, and
they are.
And I don't think that they're this, like, I mean, it was pretty strong. They're a slave to the brand. I'm not so sure. I mean, but that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I take your opinion also, and I hear you.
And like, and for instance, it's like there's like a visualization. This comes through like repeated visualizations of like commercials, media, all that stuff. Like, you just see certain things in pictures, and like people put a lot of thought into, is this going to resonate with my core demographic of who I want to go after,
Yeah.
So like one thing too, like I drive a BMW, but whenever people see me in my BMW, they're
which is a beautiful car, by the way.
Thank you.
I like it.
She's gorgeous. But like when people see me in it, they're like, I wouldn't expect you to drive that car.
Really? Is that what they think, huh?
Yeah, people, I wouldn't expect you to drive that
So
car.
your demographic, or your or the target audience that a BMW would try to go for, is that what you're saying? Like, you're not that target audience?
And I don't know if it's because it's like, on the nicer end, and I look really young, so people are like, oh, I just wouldn't expect you to have that type of car. So that could be one viewpoint of it. But also when you look at a lot of BMW's like brand messaging, their commercials, the type of people that you typically see in BMWs.
Well, it's the ultimate driving machine.
It's the ultimate driving machine.
Yeah.
I kind of Like my persona is like, I'm not, I don't think they would never cast me for one of their commercials. I'll just say that.
Okay. I can see that. All right. If that's what you're trying to, yeah, like, like, well, this is the young crowd kind of, actually, I've been seeing a lot more of that, more diversity. You see more of that. You see more like biracial people on TV or commercials, even families too. Like, so, and then, obviously they throw the LGBTQ plus community out there. They want to be like that friendliness to it. So they obviously have those type of people. Those people, no. Let me rephrase that. They have people of, everyone from the rainbow, just anyone. So they try to like market themselves towards everyone. So yeah, they're all trying to get a slice of the market.
I'm very proud of the advertising world as a whole about like they're taking that initiative very seriously, because I think even right now, like you see most of the high level executives, they're that white male that started off like the Don Drapers. Yes. They're still holding on to the agency type of like,
yeah.
But I think because the workforce is becoming so diverse, like there's lots of initiatives to be like, we need to like correct this. We see that this pattern, not necessarily like they made those choices, but they see that it is something that has happened and it plagues. They can see that pattern in their workforce, and they're like, shit, well, how do we fix it? Like I didn't mean for it to happen that way, but it is what it is. And so I think they are actively trying to course correct.
You don't think it's maybe the culture going in that direction?
Oh yeah, like I said before, like your brand, right?
Yeah.
People will support your brand if they believe in you. So if people are like, oh, well, your workforce doesn't, reflect diversity, and that's a core belief of our company, then they're not going to work with you because your brand doesn't reflect their core values. It's not about the work that you do. It's not about what you can do for them. It's about like, do you align with my core beliefs?
Yeah, I get you. So, I mean, tell us about some of your clients, or maybe something with that we're familiar with that you've worked on. And
so I have a specialty. So like when I first started, I wanted to do creative, but I realized like I hate being creative in an advertising world because there's like lots of constraints that come along with it. You're more of like a execution person until you like have been in the industry for like really, really long time. And I realized I like to just wake up and paint. Like that's my type of creativity. So,
well, yeah, I mean, of course.
And I didn't want, like when I was doing that work, like it kind of stripped that joy from me. So I was like, I need to pivot.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting more into media, which is taking some of that creative and finding those target audiences. Like, like these are the people you're looking for. These are the type of people that are going to really like your product. Let's give them, make sure that they know that you exist so that you can, connect with them. That's kind of what I do now.
I see. So here, let me ask you this. So I've asked this about my other guests. I mean, where you are now, how far or how close is it aligned when you were little? Like, what did you want to do when you were little as opposed to now? I mean, is it off the mark?
Yes.
Like a lot or like a little bit?
I think a lot.
A lot, huh?
Yeah.
Well, what did Little Ravyn want to do?
Little Ravyn wanted to be a judge.
Wow, okay. And like, what was the attraction towards that? Like, what do you think?
I think maybe...
Was it the power?
I don't know. I think it was... I wanted to, like, I'm nosy by nature.
Okay.
So I think, like, being a judge, you're able to...
just oversee everyone's problems?
You can kind of, like, listen to, like, what's going on. And then, like, I like to hear people's sides of the story and try to figure out, like, what's the right thing, or, like, what's the real story.
Okay.
You
wanted to play King Solomon and let's just cut everything in half.
Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe as a child, like that was my draw. Like I got to be in everyone's business.
Okay.
And then also got to like try to help like find the truth. Like because I think a lot of times like there's like this saying, there's his story, there's her story, then there's the truth.
And then there's the truth. Exactly. It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of A and a little bit of B, and then we try to figure it out from there. But no, I get it. All right, that's cool.
I think it was that, and then also like I have a part of me that likes to hold people accountable.
I agree with you. I don't think enough people get held accountable. I think we were just having this conversation earlier, and we have two types of people. The people that have that integrity that will own up to their mistakes and try to correct what they did wrong, and find a solution and stand by their mistakes as much as they stand by their success. And then you have the other people. You have the ones that just want to just blame it on somebody else or blame it on other conditions that had nothing to do with their control, which sometimes it is the case, but sometimes you do have to fall on the sword or jump on the grenade, like I say. So yeah, it's a good quality to have.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it could be just a lack of listening that causes that like discrepancy in stories. Because some people they're so worried about defending themselves and defending their actions, their image. They're not really listening to how this other person is perceiving that exact same situation that happened.
Yeah,
it's that's how you interpret it. That's how you felt based on your experiences. But me, from where I'm coming from, in my perspective, it's completely different, and sometimes you have to have that mediator that sits there and make you guys listen to each other's side and in each other's perspective. Because in the heat of the moment, you're just so worried about defending yourself.
Yeah, I think people get very on the defensive when they feel attacked. So yeah, absolutely, it's like you're trying to defend your point of view rather than just well, maybe I was wrong. It's again, to me, integrity, that's one of my core values. I honestly believe if I do make a mistake, I will, right the wrong, and I'll admit wrong. So,
and sometimes I don't even think it's that someone's wrong. I think two people can be right.
True.
And I think two people can both be wrong as well, Yeah, but I think a lot of times people are after I'm right because I know the right thing to do, but it's a lot of times it's you guys have different perspectives, and from your perspective you're right, but from that other person's perspective they're right. And then when you're dealing with other people and you're trying to have relationships, whether it's platonic or love, you have to open up your mind to understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, sometimes it can be misconstrued and can be misinterpreted, and people understand that that their perspective is not their perspective. And I've always said this because your perspective is based on a lot of things. It's your gender, your age, your race, your religion, all these factors. Everything is your perspective. That's why people have political views based on all those variables. Or they have religious beliefs based on all those variables. So it's all perspective. So,
absolutely. And it's you have to honor your perspective. Yeah. Just because it's not the same perspective as someone else doesn't mean that they're wrong.
Correct.
It's just different. And it's okay to be different. It's okay for different things to coexist. Yeah. The purpose of a bird is different than the purpose of a flower. But they're both right in the way that they interact with the world.
Yep. They're just beautiful on their own. So let's go back to Little Ravyn.
Little Ravyn was never little.
Okay. Young Ravyn. How's that? How about Miss Young Ravyn? Any injuries that stand out to you? Any broken bones or anything like that?
I broke my wrist because I only have one brother. Okay. And he, he's always doing stuff. And I was
how much older are you, by the way?
I'm just 2 years.
Oh, 2 years? Oh, okay.
But again, it's because we moved around a lot. We were always together. So I think that's probably why we're super close. Because
of course.
All of our environments always change, but we were always together.
That's one consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And, but I remember we got bikes and he was doing a T-stop or something. And I was I could do that too. Okay. I was trying to keep up.
Yeah.
I am not
yeah.
I'm not I'm clumsy.
Okay.
I'm clumsy.
All right.
So I'm trying to keep up with him. I tried to do a T-stop, fucking ate it. Broke my wrist, and then we had to go to the ER, and I was in a cast for a really long time.
That's funny.
I was just trying to keep up, but that happened a lot.
I think we all go through those bicycle injuries. You get excited, you got your bike, you're running around, and you're with your friends, and you run off. I remember I had the unfortunate of having my legs stuck on the back of the tire. I think I was trying to stop it with my foot because the brakes didn't work, And I was like, oh, I'm going to slow down with my leg, the rubber tire
yep,
on
yep,
the
yep.
rear. And then it got stuck in the back and just started burning my flesh. And I was like, God damn, that hurt. Yeah, we all go through it.
Like recently, I went through this phase. I was like, I want a motorcycle.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah. And my dad was like, don't you get a motorcycle? And
Yeah,
I was
those
like,
things
why
are
not?
dangerous.
He said they're dangerous. He's like, you can't ride a regular bike.
There you go.
Like, I literally ran into a parked car before. So sometimes when people make jokes about, like, oh, you're so stupid, you ran into a parked car, like, I shy away because I've literally ran into a parked car before. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you're uncoordinated.
Yeah, I mean, but you could also be one of the best riders, but you can't predict what other cars are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had friends that, they're bike riders, they lane split, and cars will just fucking just
broop,
right in front.
It scare me. They scare the crap out of me.
Hell yeah.
Because, like, on one hand, it's like, I know I'm going to be safe, but I would hate to, like, accidentally kill someone because they just...
Oh, my God.
I know. I mean? Like, that, I would hate to have that on my conscience.
Yeah.
So, like, when they, like, drive by and I'm, like, I can't see them or hear them or something, I see them go by, like, my heart just starts pounding because I'm just like, I almost fucking killed you.
Or the ones that are real assholes and just brum, like right next to you, like, fuck, man. I was like listening to a podcast. It just scared me.
Yep. So,
yeah. I've had that a few times.
Yeah, it's scary. And I'm like, I totally, like, because I used to commute back and forth to Santa Monica, like, from Moreno Valley, which was like a part-time job, just commuting. It was like almost 2.5 to 3 hours to get there, then almost 3.5 hours to get back.
Where was this at?
Santa Monica.
Okay.
When I was commuting from Moreno Valley.
Oh, wow, yes. I did the whole West Hollywood thing, so yes.
Yeah, it's hot ass mess. So
fucking hard. And how long did you do it for?
I want to say I did that for on and off for like maybe 2 years.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, I tip my hat to you because I only lasted a year, and I don't know how I did it, man.
Mm-hmm. I would literally sometimes, because I was talking to my grandpa about it, and he said, do it while you can.
Do it while you can.
And I was like okay, because you're not always going to be able to take advantage of opportunities. Like, there's a certain age, you get to a certain age, you can't sit in your car for 3 hours. Like, you just can't physically do it every day. No. But like when you're young, like you can kind of suck it up. It still takes a toll on you, but like you can still do it.
I tried changing it up. So I tried trains and then Uber, or driving my car part of the way and then Uber it the other way, or train part. I tried different combinations, and it just didn't work. I
actually enjoyed once I started getting like used to the train. I kind of enjoyed that.
I like the train.
I do too. You meet some really interesting people on the train.
But not to commute.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've actually met this guy who worked at Lionsgate. He was like...
oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How was that like?
We were on the train all the time together. And then one day I was like, I'm just going to introduce myself. I had no idea what he did. But, like, I see you every morning.
Yeah.
I probably spend, like, probably more time with you than I do with my family. So, like, you're a consistent person. We would both start in Riverside, and we got off at the same exit in Santa Monica.
Okay.
And, like, we would walk. After you exit, you have to, like, walk about, like, half a mile or something to get to the offices. And so we always would walk together. He would go right and I would go left.
Okay.
And
in the same building-ish or same street?
Same street. Different buildings.
Oh, that's cool.
And so one day I was just like, I'm just going to introduce myself.
Yeah. Good for you.
And so we kind of became friends. Then he was trying to get me a job
nice.
with him.
Was he in the same advertisement business or something else?
He was more in like film and television. So he worked.
Oh, that's right. You said Lionsgate. So, dude, that would have been so awesome. I would have been all over you. Like, you got to introduce me. Like, I love their movies.
Yep. And he was just an interesting person. Like, he was cool. But he was trying to get me a job, but I was like, I don't know if you can match the pay that I want. If you can make that happen, I'm all yours.
Oh, yeah. Whatever you want. I got you, buddy. Whatever you need.
Because when it comes to like movies and stuff, like, you have to earn your status there for sure. And
I bet.
I don't have the luxury to earn my status. Like, I need my money.
Yeah. No, I get it. You don't want to do the entry level. You kind of want to be like where you're at now and take that. So wherever you're at. So kind of like any industry, obviously.
Yeah.
But I have had some people kind of make a jump from one career to a whole nother career and be on equal footing. Like, this is kind of random, but like, there was an engineer that was hired and not to be an engineer. He was actually hired to be a project manager. And that usually takes, from the ground up to kind of work up to that. But for whatever reason, I guess they thought, well, he's an engineer, so how much harder can he be to, like, do the project management? But it's a lot more. It's a lot more attention to detail. And I've worked with some engineers, and they sometimes miss, little details, which I've had to kind of go over everything that they did and like, hey, here's my comments and red lines of everything you missed. But yeah.
I used to want to be a project manager, and so I took a course at UCLA for project management, and just the thought that goes into managing a project is insane. I thought I was doing my thing because I worked in advertising. I actually took the class because I was like, maybe I can apply some of these learnings to what I do, because I think all jobs need some level of project management to get things done.
They absolutely do, especially when you're in operations. If you're just managing, it takes some level of understanding how, what you want, but all the little details that it takes to kind of get there. And
there's lots of details, and it's so easy to overlook because I think
it is.
They try to, most companies try to skim or find shortcuts to get to things. But it's knowing what shortcuts you can and can't take are super important as well.
Oh my God. I used to work with a guy that every single job had a shortcut. Every single job had, cut some cost to save $1, which was ridiculous. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But it was every time, just try to cut a corner. It's come on, man. Sometimes you just got to do it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so let's go back to Little Ravyn.
Back to Little Ravyn.
Back to young Ravyn.
We talked about me falling off bikes.
Yeah, so I kind of want to ask you, when did you start noticing, that you were interested in boys, or interested in dating, interested in, looking at the opposite sex?
I want to say the first crush I can remember, I think, was Usher.
Really?
Yeah.
I was like, who's that man?
And I don't even know what it was about him, but
I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember I was in Colorado at the time, and he just released his My Way album or something. Okay. And I just remember having the CD case, and his face was on there, and I kissed it, and I was like, oh my God. It was just such a little cheesy girl moment. And I don't know when, to this day, I'm he's not, I don't really find him attractive. Yeah. But I think it was just he was
just a little girl crush.
Yeah, it was he was that guy that was this is who all the girls like. And I was I like him too. That's what I really think it was.
Oh, that's cute.
But I can't remember why I liked him. I don't know. It just happened. Okay. So I think that was probably my first crush that I could remember.
How about first boyfriend? Unless you want to skip that story.
Yeah, let's skip that one.
Okay, we'll skip that one. Okay. How about we fast forward a little more and let's talk a little bit about your family. What's how's everyone?
Everyone's good. Everyone's good. My mom, I'll talk about her because I live with her. Yeah. But she had a stroke maybe a few years back, so
same here with my dad, as you know, back in 2020, which 2020 just started off as a shitty ass year right from the jump.
Absolutely.
And that was the mark that it just started. And I think I remember something else happened prior to that. Kobe died first. That was one.
Oh yeah, that was it. Because I remember I had celebrated my birthday that weekend.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and it was Kobe died. And I was like, oh,
Kobe
fuck.
died. It's God damn it. Yeah, and then my dad had a stroke, and then fucking COVID hit.
It was just all downhill from there.
Dog piled on top of things, and I think even weren't the riots around that time?
Oh yeah,
the George Floyd thing.
Yep, that happened in COVID.
Yeah, how was your experience then? With COVID and the lockdowns and the quarantine.
I feel guilty saying this, but I feel like COVID improved my quality of life.
Really? Like isolation, quarantine, or
I think just like work-life balance.
Okay.
I think from that perspective, because on one hand, like working in advertising, like I would literally sometimes be in the office. Like I was commuting sometimes. When I actually lived in LA, I still was in the office a lot. And, you know, I'd be there till like from 7 a.m. to like 8 or 9 p.m. sometimes.
Wow.
Like, so I worked a lot, and it was, I think something in advertising, everyone's always trying to figure out like, how do we improve this work-life balance?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer was letting us work from home.
Yeah, that
was literally the answer.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as you can tell, like I'm doing that myself. So it's like I really enjoy it. It's peace of mind. I could work or work out, or just take a little break or take whatever time I need to actually do things.
And like the office that I had out in El Segundo, like they had a gym attached to it, but at the same time, like no one wants to like take a lunch break, go work out, come back to your desk, and you're fucking sweating.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like no one really wants to do that. But if
Well, did
like
they have showers there?
They had showers, but like they have a limited time, and like you have to like prepare. You have to like make sure you bring clothes.
I think maybe it was probably there for before work or after work, because I think during work it's like, yeah, you got limited time, so you're on the clock.
Yeah.
A lot of times I would still like work through my lunch and just not even take a lunch.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, true. And so you just have to like plan more, I guess.
Yes.
And so it's like it takes more of your time away from being at home.
Yeah.
And like now I can like take a call, the call's over, like, oh, you need to throw this little laundry. So I don't have to spend my entire weekend doing laundry. So
yes.
I can just do it throughout
Same
the
here.
day.
Yeah, I can meal prep. I could do laundry. I could just do a little cleaning. Mm-hmm. I could take a lunch, catch up on Disney Plus, HBO Max, or any other premium platinum or streaming sites that we have, all available.
Right. So honestly, like from that aspect, I think it improved my quality of life. But also, like, during this time, like, there's been so much loss for, I think, everyone.
There has. I think everyone knows somebody. Yeah. It was, well, did you even catch COVID? How about that?
I did.
I did. Okay.
And it was I don't want to say it's interesting. It's not interesting, but
well, I think it is, because it's like a new virus. It's everyone that I know got. Well, no, not everyone.
Not COVID in itself is not interesting, but I was gonna say my story is not like super interesting.
The symptoms, right?
Yeah, and like because like our whole family got COVID at the same time.
I remember hearing about this. I think so.
Mm-hmm. Like our whole family got COVID at the same time, and normally I always go to my grandma's house.
Yes.
And so this year, for some reason, my brother was like, oh, I'm going to go to Big Bear with his girlfriend's family. And so we were both in different places, but he got COVID from his girlfriend's family.
Wow.
And then our entire family out here got COVID from my grandma's house.
Yeah.
And we ended up losing her. But she had like a lot of...
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. She had a lot of complications prior to, but that was the thing, right? Like,
yeah.
Like I took
prior medical
the
issues
and stuff, but it wasn't because I was scared for my own life. I was like, I want to do whatever I can to help protect people who may not be able to live through COVID because they have those pre-existing conditions.
And all that was, bullshit, because we all still were able to spread it.
Exactly.
We all were still able to get it.
Exactly. And so, like, some people, like, because I caught COVID before I actually took the vaccine.
Okay. I caught it after I took the vaccine. So it's kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And I also think that, like, I got the first round of COVID, too, before it, like, went, like, super... Okay. Like I don't want to say
before it mutated into
because I remember
Omarion variant.
Little jiggity
which is Amaricron, but everyone just called it Omarion.
Yeah, because like when we're going into the office, like I think it was part of the work culture to just go to work regardless if you were sick or not.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. You just suck it up. A lot of people would show up, with the sniffles.
So our whole office
coughing.
was sick as sick. And
during COVID,
COVID wasn't a thing yet.
Okay,
because like as soon as like COVID became like a national thing, it was like shut it down.
Yeah.
So it was like the December right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And so like the entire office, like people were calling off left and right. There's people at their desks like coughing and all this other stuff, and like I normally will try. I do that too. Like I'll just work through it. But like this time when I got sick, like I was like, I have to call off. Like I was at home, like I was in my bed, like.
Okay, so
And
you were sick in December.
I was sick in December. Mm-hmm.
And this is before the COVID like happened. Wow. Okay.
Yep. And so I don't know if it was COVID. I'm pretty sure it was COVID. Just because like shortly after, like everyone got COVID, and then like the next couple of years, like December is like the peak season.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure like we all had COVID at that time.
Yeah.
And so the second round, like when everyone got sick in 2020 actually.
Yeah.
During that time, like I got COVID too, but like I almost felt fine because I think I had
Antibodies
already, because I probably had it in December of the previous year.
Okay. Did you lose your sense of smell and taste?
I did.
Same here.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, and some people like my brother, he had COVID too, but he just recently got his taste back. And
recently? Okay. Just barely 2022.
Yeah.
So
every time we go somewhere, he was like, "This food," he's like, "I just can't taste anything." It like took the joy out of eating for him because he just couldn't taste anything.
Yeah.
And then like eventually one day it just came back. But yeah, he went through like almost like over a year just not being able to taste things.
I think I tried to lie to myself when I was like, I can't taste it. And I was like, no, I could taste it. I could taste it. Yeah. And it's like, I had to put extra hot sauce in it. And I'm like, yeah, I could taste it. But it's just like a little sensation that I felt. It wasn't so much the taste. But yeah, it's like your nasal and taste were all just interconnected. So I was like, this was gone and the taste was gone. And so I was like, oh, okay. I'll deal with it.
And when you think about it, like I think that practice of forcing yourself to go to work while you're sick is kind of gross now I look at it.
Yes, so it does. I'm glad that it happened. So now that we kind of see ourselves as like, you don't have to try. I mean, I get it. It's all about being a trooper. But, you know, for the people that were being assholes, not even wanting to wear a mask, I'm all, dude, it's like, so you don't spread your germs. It wasn't so much like to prevent you from getting COVID. It's like a salad bar glass sneeze guard. You know, it's like
people like out in the world just like, I'm sick. I don't care about anybody around me. So let's be at Target just like like coughing, mouth open,
worst.
sneezing. You see all the condensation just flying out of their mouth all over the place. I'm just like, ugh,
yeah, you see all that infrared scans. You see if people coughing or sneezing. It's like, man, that really does spread.
And so I think like from that standpoint, I think society will be made better just in terms of being clean and sanitary and sanitizing things. So
yeah, they will. And I'm glad that it's kind of going into that direction now where people are being more conscious, more health conscious, not just health, like in physical health, but also mental. I've noticed that's kind of been the latest thing that just during that 2020 time, I think maybe the world changed also in that direction. Like, yeah, let's worry about our physical health, but also just very like, you know, taking the charge on mental health. I mean, where do you stand with that?
Mental health?
Yeah.
I mean, I see a therapist.
Okay. Well, that's good then. It's good to have someone to talk to because a lot of people, for men, you know, we're the ones that have to shoulder a lot of burden and shoulder a lot of like, you know, it's like be a man, you know, man up, you know, stop being a pussy. And I think a lot of guys from that generation, like my generation, it's like we don't talk about our feelings. Well, even older generations of mine, we don't talk about our feelings. We don't talk about depression. We don't talk about mental health. But there's a lot of guys that suffer in silence. And honestly, it's like it sucks that, you know, they'll probably drink too much or smoke too much
it's
or
like
whatever.
This cultural expectation that's like, I don't want to say cultural, but like societal expectation. Like this is the man's role. Man shouldn't care about feelings because men are the logical ones. They're not emotional, but we're all humans and we all have
are human.
elements of both masculine, feminine traits. I forgot what word I just used, but like emotional and logical. Like men and women can have both of those qualities and still be a man, still be a woman. Like you can still be those people and have feelings.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like
I'm glad we're having more open conversations about it because a lot of the times I feel like, you know, we don't talk about it enough, at least on the guys. I mean, girls, yes, they'll talk about their feelings and yeah, let's give you a hug. Let's make you feel safe. Let's make you feel, you know, special. But for men, again, it's like, I don't think we get it enough, but I think we are having more conversation where
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think men are not comfortable sharing like how they're doing? Like if someone was like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? like I think most men are kind of like, oh, I'm cool, it's whatever.
Yeah, I'm good, I'm great. They want to
So why
brush
do
it
you
off
think that's like a man's first reaction to respond that way versus
because it looks
being
like
vulnerable?
weakness. Men always want to be projected as strong, as the Rock. If you're not the Rock, then what are you? Do you have an identity crisis? It's perceived and branded in our heads to like you have to be strong. You have to be that Rock, and you have to like shoulder the burden.
Right.
Atlas the Titan that carries the weight of the world on his shoulder. We want that, and we can't always live up to those expectations, but we try. And a lot of the guys they'll say, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine, absolutely. But we need to have that more conscious effort to talk and talk about our vulnerabilities, talk about our weaknesses, talk about like, yeah, I'm not okay. It's okay. It's like you're not weak. It's like we all go through it. We're all human.
Right.
We're not perfect, and we absolutely should be able to talk to at least our peers or friends and family members, which we can confide in.
Because like I think to a lot of people, like someone in their family or someone that they know commits suicide, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't see that coming. Like he always seemed so happy. He always seemed so go lucky. He's always laughing. Nothing was ever wrong. And so now these people are like, well, what was wrong? But it's like sometimes if you were able to just open up and have those conversations with people you love, or even a therapist, and be like, hey, let's, I get how you're feeling. I hear you. I see you. Let's think about this in a different way. Let's reframe this from a different perspective.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't have that. I don't think they have enough perspective because they could only see their tunnel view of things, how they were brought up and how they were raised and how they view society and how they process everything, as opposed to somebody else like on the other side that's probably looked at it as like, it's like not a big deal.
Right.
Like you could talk about it. You could lean on me. You could, share whatever feelings, emotions, not have to feel like you have to play this different role that, it's like you don't always have to be tough.
And so sometimes I feel like there's this talk track that men, I don't want to say men give it to themselves, but it's like, it's like they say like, oh, I am a man, so I have to do these things. And so it's almost to like give yourself some grace too, to be, I'm not going to be that all the time. Like, and it's not weak to have feelings. Like, just like you were saying, like, it's part of life. Like if you live this life and you don't feel anything, like something's broken inside of you. If you could literally just go through the world like nothing bothers me. I don't care about anything.
That's just being a robot then.
You're a robot.
Yeah.
Like part of the human experience is feeling.
Yeah, it's like you kind of lose your humanity. When if you cut those feelings out, then you might as well be a serial killer.
Sociopath. Just like, oh, why'd you kill him? I don't know. Like there is this movie.
Which movie?
I think it was called The Strangers, maybe.
Okay.
And like at the very end, like someone went to this house.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they like tied the whole family up, and they're like, "Why are you doing this?" And they're like, "Because you were home."
Yeah.
If you weren't home, you wouldn't be in this position. Like, like that's like that to me. Like I might be using the wrong term, but like that's like sociopathic behavior. It's like you're void of any feelings. You're void of. Like, this wasn't a targeted attack. I'm not trying to get, like, revenge.
You literally mean nothing.
You mean you're insignificant? I want to kill something. You were here. You were available. You're dead.
Yeah, it's kind of like the only way I come up with an example is kind of like when you work on a piece of notepad and you rip the sheet off and you just throw it away. It's like you find it that insignificant that you could kind of create something, write something, but you could change your mind and be like, rip it right off and just throw it away. And maybe that's how those sociopaths kind of just view life. It's like, I could throw you and dispose of you that easily and just not be unbothered about it.
And I was actually thinking about that today too. Like, there's like this double-edged sword about like, sometimes things that happen to you, it's like in the grand scheme of things, it's insignificant. But when you actually think about the grand scheme of things, you're insignificant. And so some people are kind of like, well, I don't matter.
Well, we're tiny specks floating on a rock in a void space of darkness, millions and millions of miles away from like light, which is the sun. So it's like, we're pretty tiny.
We're pretty tiny. And so sometimes it's kind of hard to be like, I have purpose, because you might not have purpose.
Yeah.
Or you may not, your purpose may just to be exist so that someone else could do something, and that's literally your purpose in the world. In the world.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So I know you asked me about the man's perspective on vulnerability and feelings, and let's kind of flip that side on the feminine side of things. And you tell me from your female perspective as far as like, I gotta ask this question, and I see this a lot, but why do women overthink?
That's a good question. As an overthinker, I'm overthinking right now.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I just feel like
where's the logic to the chaos?
I think I wouldn't necessarily call it chaos, but it's almost like project planning on a daily basis, right? Like Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will go wrong. So when you're thinking sometimes, it's like, what could potentially go wrong? How do I minimize my risks in certain situations? And so you have different situations play out in your head.
So you look at it more as a mathematical equation?
I have this conversation all the time. I think women are actually very logical.
Well, I know they're very practical, and they do go with, the very rational things. The men will obviously go explore into the unknown. They're like, fuck, there's tigers, lions, and bears out there, but women would take the safe route and stay what's familiar.
True. And I almost feel like that's like the balance, because I've been this year I've been really trying to better understand masculine and feminine energy outside of like societal's like, this is what a man does, this is what a woman does. So I'm really trying to understand like, what does feminine energy mean, and like, because I would say like I'm more masculine. I consider myself more masculine than a typical like female. And I'm like,
how do you define masculinity? I can't even say the word masculinity.
And I think like that's kind of like what I'm trying to like understand more, because my previous thought, it was more.
Is it like more like boss energy? Is that?
I don't want to say boss energy, because I think women like have always been bosses, but we weren't allowed to be in the workforce, so we were like bosses of the home. That's
how I view it. It's like, a strong masculine trait is obviously be that leader. Obviously, you take men into battle. That's, you're a leader. Rather than a follower, and that's usually what a boss would do, is like take his team and elevate them. So I mean, like that's a good quality.
When like men and women are together, I would say like typically the way I look at masculinity is, and men, I feel like they're more likely to just come to an answer. I think because like a part of the feminine way of being is like we're thinking of all of these different scenarios. And the thing that I think men contribute to like a woman's life is being like, okay, well, I understand this is happening. Let's do this. This is the route we're going to go. So let's start going that way. And women are like, okay, all right. So it's almost like you guys give us a peace of mind. Like,
how so?
Like I'm saying, like we have all these like scenarios and thoughts in our head, and sometimes like I don't want to say men are simple, but like sometimes that simple view of like, let's just pick one and move forward.
Well, I do have the saying that someone taught me a long time ago, and it's the KISS method. Have you heard of the KISS method?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Exactly. It's an acronym. KISS. Or that's one too many S. KISS.
But also, like I think that is like it works, but I also think that like there's a balance, and that's like the masculine and the feminine energy, because I think like I kind of grew up in like a very traditional type of family where it's like the man is the provider, the man does this, the woman does this, like there's very like clear gender roles. But at the same time, like the way I think it should work is like, as a man and a woman, like the woman, she's gonna overthink. She's gonna think of all these different scenarios. But what that does for the man is like, okay, here are all the options. I think this one's gonna be the best for our family, for us, and for whatever reason. Let's do this and move forward. So it's like you're listening to each other, and the man's consulting with his wife.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like the man's kind of like, because he has that inclination to just pick something and move forward, it kind of like helps them move forward together.
I could kind of see it as kind of like a structure. So it's like when people have like writer's block, or just like get stuck on a project or something, I always say just start with the structure, a simple framework, and just go from there. You could jazz it up, and I think that kind of works as both female and male roles as a team. It's like the man will like, well, here's the choice, but then you kind of like look at it as like in the in between, and you kind of fill that in. So you kind of fill those little gaps in the framework. So it kind of works both ways. Like it could be the other way too. A woman can make a choice on something, the man can maybe fill in those little gaps in between. So fill in the framework. So yeah, when you find a good partner, like my wife,
shout out to Amanda.
So I mean, yeah, you have somebody that could definitely help you make those decisions. Where you might be uncertain, you could rely on those type of people. So yeah,
and that's like the thing that I'm saying too about like the masculine and the feminine energy, because I think they can be present in you whether you're a man or a woman. Like it's just like an energy and a way of being versus like, because you're a man, you're masculine. Because there's a lot of men who don't have a whole bunch of masculine energy, and then they sometimes it's like this balance. Like they may not have all the masculine, and they get with women who are more masculine, and it balances out.
Kind of bossy.
Yeah.
Like have you ever heard of a beta male?
Yes.
So yeah, you could maybe that type of person is more feminine. They get with more of a boss alpha male woman. So it's they balance out. So
yeah. And it's like you just got to find what works for you. But like
what do they say?
Like
Opposites,
right or wrong, opposites
attract. Yeah, exactly. So
it's about energy. So
yeah,
that's like kind of like the thing I've been trying to understand this year. Because I feel like sometimes I'm always like trying. I don't want to say I'm trying, but like I see myself as a more masculine person, like energied person, because like I do what I want to do, or like
very independent.
Very independent. I'm
which is a male trait
for the most part. Like
like a guy will be happy with just an empty studio apartment with the TV and couch.
Right. So like I'm trying to, because I don't, and also like in my mind sometimes I feel like I have like a negative association of what femininity is. And
what do you find negative about it?
I would say I almost feel like sometimes when you're talking about being feminine, it's almost like being aloof, or like not
maybe playing the dumb girl role.
Playing the dumb girl, like okay, like, and there's like this act of submission, and I think like that's like a whole nother topic. But
I could see how it could be submissive, as maybe as a way to kind of,
and I don't think there's
not
anything
be
wrong.
A threat to a male.
Yeah, and like I don't think there's anything wrong with being submissive if the man is or your partner is like, has your best interest at heart. Like I don't see a problem with the idea of submission. It just has to be like honored properly. But most of the time, like when I hear like people talking about like feminine women, it's less about like encouraging their mind and their way of thinking and their contributions, and it's more about like how they're able to make a man's life easier, or play dumb, or like I don't know, but those are the kind of associations that I have with femininity. So this year I'm trying to like better understand like the power of being a more feminine person, and like having a more positive perspective on feminine energy, because just because you're soft and gentle doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean
and I think maybe that's it. Maybe that's just I know we're just kind of like peeling the onion there, as far as like you feel maybe it's a form of weakness.
I think that's probably where that stems from.
Yeah. I know. I was just talking to my last guest, Michelle, when she was just having a chip on her shoulder about certain things, and just I could see that. I could see how sometimes it's like it's like you want to be perceived as strong rather than weak. So,
and yeah, like earlier we were talking about too, like the man's job is to be strong, and so
exactly
you can protect the woman, but it's like I feel like when you're, especially like in a relationship setting, like you have to be strong for each other. Like you have to equally pour into each other. It's more of a balance, and like making sure that you're both okay, versus I'm just here. My sole purpose is for you to be okay and you can just like not contribute. Like I don't like that idea of like a relationship or even like platonic or
Well, how do
or
you feel about
otherwise.
like I don't know, like those type of women that don't work or maybe are a kept woman, you know? How
I
do you feel
mean,
about that?
if her intentions are good, I think if her and her husband agree, like, I am going to be the woman, like, I'm going to take care of the house, the kids, and the man agrees, like, okay, like, because that's an important part of
Yeah,
a
well, there has to
relationship.
be an understanding.
There has to be an understanding, like, there
There has
has
to
to
be an
be,
agreement.
right, there has to be some type of, like, delineation of roles. Like, even if both the men and the woman are both working, it's like, okay, like, who's going to take, like, out of their check, who's gonna like make sure that there's a maid so we come home to a clean home, like, you know what I mean, who's picking up dinner tonight,
No, I
you know what
get
I
you.
mean?
Yeah.
So like those things at home and like the things outside of work, like they still matter. So between the two people you have to figure out like who's gonna do what. So there needs to be some type of like roles and responsibilities between two people when you're like trying to coexist together.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Like for me, I try to keep work and home life separately, you know, because I've always felt like, you know, my business life is my business life, my work life, my personal life. It's like that's what I work to sustain my life, and my life I don't define it as my work. But you know, other people have other opinions about that.
And sometimes too it's like the type of work that you do
Okay.
sometimes can like change like you being able to cut it off, like me in advertising, like, and I think it was less about the work that like made me not disconnect, but it was more about making sure that I was on top of my game and that I was always learning and I was like putting myself in positions to like promote or do more. It wasn't necessarily but like I'm making a big change in this world, you
No, I
know.
get it.
So like I made like now that I'm kind of like made like I feel stable financially. Like when I'm done, I just like even on my social media, like I don't know if you ever see me posting about work.
No, I can't recall a post about work. I mean, if anything, it's about your personal life, your travels, your adventures, you know, your friends, family, etc.
And so like I might repost like a meme from like a work page,
Yeah.
but like most people don't even know what I do. They're just like, how do you like?
I get that asked a lot. Honestly, I
Like, what do
probably maybe
you
post like one or two things about like, yeah, I just finished this project or I did this. I'm like, what do you do? Yeah, I get asked that still.
And even like when it comes to dating, I don't even like telling people what I do either.
Yeah.
Because they like have this idea like, oh, you're like a Don Draper. Oh, you making the big money and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like I don't even want to have those conversations. I just like, especially with online dating, like people are like, oh, what do
Yeah.
you do? I'm like, I work in an office.
Yeah.
Like I don't want like what I do to
Okay.
define me,
No, I get it.
especially like the type of work that I do.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
You know.
So we've hit this hour mark. So how about any last closing statements? Any last thoughts or maybe stories or something experience that you maybe want to end on, as far as like a message? I know it's open and broad question, so let me be more specific.
I like specificity.
Okay, exactly. Okay, so if someone came up to you like, "Hey, you know, I've read your or I heard your podcast," and you know, it's like, let me ask you this question. It's how would you sum up the essence of you as far as like, you know, your struggles, your experiences, your life, like, you know, do you have that one defining moment that maybe that came to you and said like, okay, I'm going to turn it this way and this is the path I want to choose? Which I feel like I kind of butchered that question.
I guess what I will say is like I guess maybe like a something that I kind of keeps me going and that I constantly am thinking about and evaluating is like what is your impact going to be? Like how are you
Impact with
interacting
the
with
world or
people?
impact with your career or impact with
You
your
impacting
circle?
your world, right?
Okay.
Like how are you interacting with the people around you? Like are you bringing joy? Are you pouring joy and
Yeah,
support into the people around you?
I like that.
So it's like just always think about that like when you're evaluating your life. And some
Yeah.
people don't actually like think about evaluating their life, but you know when you do, just just think about like, are you pouring into the people that are around you, or are you just accepting the being poured into?
Yeah, I get that. So it's kind of like I know I'm probably butchering this again, but if like you were to leave this world, did you help improve someone's life? Did you make this world better than when you entered it? It's
Yeah.
like you want contribution.
Yeah, and like just don't think about like what can I get out of this situation, but like what can you give?
Exactly. And on that, we're going to end on a high note.
Drop the mic.
So thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll call it a day.